show, the fast 5 things you need to know. We'll start your day off swirly, it's the toast. I sound amazing.
Welcome back to the toast and happy Thursday. That just kind of, crept up on us.
Yes.
Hey, Jax, how you doing?
I am darn good. I'm darn spread thin is how I'm darn. I feel like I just can't catch up with myself. Do you know what I mean? You ever feel just so behind on things? I feel behind on things.
No, a really annoying personality trait of mine is I don't leave stones unturned. Do you know what I mean? If something comes in, I'm getting it done that day. They call me the sweeper, It's not a perfect system, but I don't relate to that particular feeling. What are you feeling, left behind on?
Well, I just feel like ever since this weekend, I'm just constantly trying to catch up with work and just cleaning, putting my clothes away, just a million things. And then something else comes up and I keep having false starts on all these sourdough loaves. I don't even have the time to do my sourdough. That's how you know. That's how
you're really behind.
That I don't have 2 hours in my house where I'm not sleeping, where I can preheat the oven and bake the bread. I have not made a loaf. I'm attempting to make one today, but that's the real marker.
Are you trying to make a loaf because you have company?
Yes, because I have company. Shannon's coming. I have to have a fresh loaf for her. That's disgusting if I don't.
You better get to work.
Well,
Where's
right
Shannon
now,
staying? Upstairs or downstairs?
Right now, my loaf is... I'm going to say it. My loaf is retarding in the fridge.
I can't believe you just said that.
That's literally what it's doing. That's a technical word.
I know.
Are you going to be okay?
If your loaf is retarding, your loaf is retarding. Who are we to deny that?
My loaf's experience.
Right. Your loaf's lived experience.
My loaf is retarding in the fridge. When I'm done
here, we know.
When I'm done here, I will preheat my oven and I will have it ready for Shannon.
And what does that mean? Cooling down?
Yeah. So basically the bread keeps proofing and you want it to proof 10, 12 hours, but then you want it to stop proofing immediately. So you want to slow down / retard the proofing process.
It's like a flame retardant, right?
Yeah.
That puts out a flame.
Yeah.
It immediately stops the...
Yeah, so we are stopping the proofing. When it gets cold, then it no longer shall proof and it won't get overproofed. And then it can be ready for baking.
Wow, okay.
I
didn't realize we were just...
community with the slurs.
Slur.
You wouldn't expect it from them.
That's the thing about language,
Yeah, that is the thing about language. Things mean... not everything has changed, that has kept up with the times.
No, and also that's how in the UK, if you're talking about a cigarette, some people reference it as a F slur.
Mm-hmm. Which word?
Cigarette.
Okay. What do they call it?
An F slur.
Fuck?
Yeah, Jackie, I'm not going to say fuck. You know which word I'm talking about.
No, I don't know.
For the queer community.
No, I don't know.
And so when people say it, it's a little bit old school, but still, it's a perfectly, I think, acceptable way to reference a cigarette in London.
Well, you know what? I'll have to ask James.
Yes, you will. Hey, mate, you gotta.
My British correspondent.
Yeah.
British camper.
Well, thank you for telling us about the...
retardation in my fridge.
Stop! Stop it!
I get a free pass. Sorry,
no, it's not even a free pass. You're talking about bread.
I'm talking I'm literally stating facts.
Jackie,
sorry.
the thing is, you've done nothing wrong. Can we please change the subject?
We can. The good news
we
is
have a business to run.
All of that is happening because Shannon is coming, and I'm so excited to see my girl. She's performing tonight at the Dania Beach Improv. I'm gonna go catch a show, sophisticated lady that I am, and I'm very excited for our evening and our slumber party.
No, that's really fun. Which room is she staying in? Upstairs or downstairs?
She's staying upstairs. Last time she stayed upstairs too, and that was before it was pargy. Just, a little bit of separation because the guest room downstairs, while pargy, you're very much in my family. You're one of my children.
Yeah, which is why I like it.
I'll come give you a bottle in the night.
Literally. She might accidentally come in and breastfeed you.
Yeah, exactly. So upstairs is nice.
I kind of did something crazy last night.
Oh, what you did?
I had a piece of cake from Cipriani, which these days is not that crazy because I'm doing it all the time.
So you had your dinner.
Yeah, I also had a full meal before that, but I went to that specific restaurant because...
Did you have Cipriani meal?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What'd you have?
A pasta.
Pomodoro?
Alla vodka.
Alla vodka.
Yeah, so I was just like really embracing the belly, you know? Like I was like, this is what pregnant women do.
Baby wanted penne alla vodka.
That's like my new favorite thing to say. Like, baby needs a be like, just to sort of not take responsibility for any of my actions. I'm like, baby's in a bad mood. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just constantly kind of blaming baby for things.
I think that's great.
Baby has been in like kind of a rough mood these last couple of days, but we feel like baby's coming out of it.
What's he feeling like?
Just like irritated, annoyed, uncomfortable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, baby.
Yeah, no, and it's baby, it's not me. Also, those farts that I was making, it's baby, it's not me.
Well, that's true.
I actually refuse to take responsibility for the farts that I've been making. Like,
No, 'cause
they are
it's like,
so...
You've been you your whole life and you never made those
Yes.
farts. What's the difference now? Baby.
Correct. What is like the sort of unknown factor here?
Baby.
The baby. I refuse. That's why I'll like fart out loud. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I understand.
Like, I feel like I'm at an age and a level of maturity where I can take responsibility for my own actions. My farts are not mine. My body's not my own.
I understand. You know what I was thinking about the other
Tell.
like day, because I was like thinking about your pregnancy and like just how pregnancy is so hard. Like seriously. Could you imagine?
I think about that all the time.
Right. Could you imagine being a surrogate? Like just doing the pregnancy and not even getting like the bundle of joy? How much would someone have to pay you? Seriously.
Well, so the thing is about surrogates, like what they say is that they're very special people and they do it because they feel sort of called to help others. And so while I could never, ever be that selfless to a stranger, let's say in a random world, like I'm done having kids and I still have like a functional uterus and you need a surrogate. Like, yeah,
You would
I would
do
it for you.
You really would?
Yeah, I would. I would do it for any of my sisters. And that's literally it.
That's really big of you.
You wouldn't do it for me?
I mean, I'd like to say that I would.
Let's say circumstances like are like you're done having children, like
Yeah.
you got everything you wanted. Like no, in the middle of my child rearing journey, no, I'm not taking a break for you. But like, let's say I happen to be like a 37-year-old with a poppin', pussy,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word. Yeah, I would do it for you.
That's really sweet.
I guess actually, I would need a couple more details.
I just don't think that you would.
Do you not have any children, like in this hypothetical scenario? Like if you didn't have any children, if you wanted like a fourth, sorry, you're gonna have to live with your 3. But like if you didn't have any and it was like your one opportunity, yeah, I would do it.
Okay, that's really sweet of you.
And I'm not hearing any reciprocation.
Well, I'm high risk, so I don't know that I could just be
Oh, she's hiding behind the high risk.
doing bonuses.
She's hiding behind the high risk. Okay, duly noted.
Yeah, I've got stuff, so.
No, but being a surrogate, like I've never met like a person like in my like a friend or anything who does surrogacy. So I just imagine that they're wonderful people who are extremely different than me. Like
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't even imagine.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
Now I know there's also a financial component. And so I'm trying to think of like what enough money for me like would be to do it. And I don't know. And this is like the tough thing about pregnancy. Like you don't want to complain. You're so grateful and you are. But it's actually the definition of holding space for two truths. Like two things can be true at once. Like this is genuinely like such a miserable experience. But I am so eternally grateful and blessed for this miracle happening. And I'm so joyful about it,
It's true.
And I feel like you can't say one without the other, You don't want to glorify it. It's a miracle.
Yeah.
But you don't want to only be like negative queen.
No.
So you're actually... That's the only time it's really acceptable to hold space for two truths in a serious, not ironic way.
Okay. I support that.
Thanks.
Well, thanks. Good to know that you would do it for me.
Yeah, any of my sisters.
That's so beautiful, Claudia.
Except now, like that you and Olivia like have kids. I don't really feel
don't
like...
feel like we deserve it.
Not that you deserve it, but like I don't think that I would be willing to do it. Like you've experienced the joys of motherhood. Like you're set. But let's say, God forbid, a million times less Michelle, like Margot needed a surrogate and she had never had kids yet. Yeah, I would do it for her.
Yeah, I guess we all would.
She just better start like, responding to my texts more. That's all I ask in return.
Yeah, she better take me to Tortuga.
Correct.
Then we can talk.
Did you watch Summer House?
I did watch Summer House. I'm excited to talk about it. Actually, our 5th and final story will lead into Summer House because there's a lot to talk about.
Great. Yes, I also watched Watch What Happens Live and I saw a bunch of clips from the Aftershow, which is like making rounds, and I'll tell you about it.
Okay. What was Andy's mood last night? Like run for cover?
Oh, no. Obviously, somebody gave him like a slap on the wrist. He was joyful beyond, like pretending so hard to care about whatever Sierra and Amanda were saying. And like, not that you have to pretend, but it wasn't like a crazy episode or anything. And he was just like, and how does that feel?
No, and they're not like the most like tea spilling, like.
No, especially of that cast.
Yeah, they're pretty cool and collected.
And he was like, he opened the show. He's like, I'm having a drink tonight. It's been a long day.
Claudia, do you think our words reached him?
No, but I think that like production is like, I think his producers and his team are like aware of what gets said, or even just like they watched and were like, Andy, maybe you should be like a little more welcoming to the clubhouse tomorrow night. I don't think they necessarily heard us, but I can't imagine, because you sent me a clip where Andy was so clearly hating Leslie Bibb and Garcelle.
Yeah, but the thing is, I sent you the clip. The clip was it was a funny moment between Leslie Bibb and Garcelle arguing about Sutton and Dorit. And that's what the person who posted it wanted to highlight. And I was like, Claudia, watch this clip because you will see Andy being a curmudgeon. So I don't know if it was like, I don't think it was our direct words, but I think that sentiment was pretty obvious. Like when I watched that clip, he would want it to be anywhere else but that chair. Yeah. And that's just one clip that wasn't even meaning to highlight that.
Right. So he was in a fabulous mood.
I think our words reached someone.
He was in a great mood.
Sure he was. Sure.
Two things. Now, is it a story about the handwritten note Meghan Markle sent to?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Because I like kind of need to talk about it.
I was like ready to not make it a story because I'm very sensitive now that I don't want to overdo it. However, like it's Thursday, which has historically been the worst day for stories. Not today, though. I actually like our stories. And it's really so crazy. And we need to talk about it.
And I actually have a lot of follow-up questions about the whole saga. So I'm really glad we are talking about it.
Yeah. So I guess like instead of talking about what we're going to talk about, we could talk about the things that we say that we're going to talk about in the Fast Five stories that you need to know.
And the Fast Five stories that you need to know are brought to you by Skims. So, you know,
that should be our transition noise.
I definitely knew that pregnancy would have me wearing, you know, new things, full coverage undies. But with Skims, we really don't need to sacrifice styles that we already know and love. The Skims Fits Everybody collection and their thong has been a really popular item on their site. And honestly, you would think like a pregnant person wouldn't be able to wear it, but Skims is just so Pargy. I have entered a new Skims standum. I don't know what took me so long. They sell maternity clothes. And I bought a set. You guys probably have seen me wear it. I bought it last week. I've worn it at least 4 times. I wore it last night. It's just a black long sleeve shirt and black like yoga pants. They are so comfortable. Like I have the hardest time finding clothes right now. I'm even wearing like maternity leggings right now from a different place and I'm uncomfortable. So Skims has really, I don't know what the material is. I've been wearing it to filth. I already got it dirty. I'm so annoyed. Their maternity stuff is so slept on. Obviously like their underwear, their bras, their shapewear, like things like that I've known and used forever. I was familiar with, but I hadn't bought their maternity specific clothing. And let me tell you, it's so fabulous. The Fits Everybody collection is the bralettes that I wear all the time. Their bras are amazing. I love the Fits Everybody's t-shirt bra. My bra and just like overall sizing has changed so much. So I've been shopping a lot, probably like every 2 months, placing an order from Skims because like that's, my underwear is like disposable at this point, not to overshare, sorry. But I just can't recommend Skims enough for every phase of life. And you can shop the best intimates, including the Fits Everybody collection and more at skims.com and their New York flagship store on 5th Avenue. And after you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. Select podcasts in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Today's episode is also brought to you by Hiya Health. Typical children's vitamins are basically candy in disguise. They're filled with 2 teaspoons of sugar, unhealthy chemicals, other gummy additives that growing kids should just never eat. And that's why Hiya was created. A super-powered chewable vitamin. While many children's vitamins are filled with sugar, which is known to contribute to a variety of health issues, Hiya is proudly made with 0 sugar and 0 gummy additives, but it tastes great and is great for picky eaters. They fill the gaps, the most common gaps in children's diets to provide the full-body nourishment that your kids need with a yummy taste that they love. It's formulated with the help of pediatricians and nutritional experts. It's pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies. And then it's supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and so many others to help support immune system, energy, brain function, mood, concentration, teeth, bones, and more. It is, of course, non-GMO. It is vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, nut-free. It's pretty much free of everything else you can imagine. All their batches are third-party tested for heavy metals and microbiomes. They are designed for kids 2 and up, sent straight to your door, so parents have one less thing to worry about. I've seen firsthand the magic. My niece Michaela is obsessed. It's the best part of her day. She's a super picky eater too. She doesn't like steak, which I think is so weird of her. But she loves Hiya Health. The bottles are like fun. You can put stickers on them. It's like an activity for everybody. And we've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order when you go to hiyahealth.com/toast. The offer is not available on their regular website. You have to go to hiyahealth.com/toast to get the kids their full body nourishment that they need to grow into healthy adults. Today's episode is also brought to you by Fast Growing Trees. Did you know that Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the U.S. with thousands of different plants and over 2 million happy customers? They have all the plants that your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Whatever plants you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. You can find the perfect fit for your climate and your space. They make it easy to get your dream yard. You order online, you get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days, and you never have to leave home. Plus, their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy. Plus, you're going to get support from trained plant experts on call to help you plan your landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them. Jackie, I know that you are like a big yard girl, and you have Fast Growing Trees in your yard.
I do. I have an orange tree in my yard from Fast Growing Trees, and it is fast
That's
growing.
very beautiful.
And it's actually attracted this really beautiful red bird that comes to my tree every morning that I see out my window when I'm doing my makeup, and it's a really beautiful experience I've not shared yet.
It's like a Disney film.
No, it really is. I take like videos on my. I feel like Molly May with her bird watching camera. I take like close-up videos on my phone. I can't. It's the prettiest bird I ever saw.
I really like about the website is like obviously we know nothing about plants or gardening, and they're experts. Like they'll tell you based on where you live.
Oh yeah,
what the best
zone,
chance,
what zone
right,
you're in, and then
what the best thing to get is.
What grows in your area. Like I don't think I'm growing apples here in the Sunshine State.
This spring, they have the best deals for your yard and up to half off on select plants and other deals. Listeners of The Toast can get 15% off their first purchase when they use code TOAST at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com and using code TOAST at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code TOAST. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use TOAST to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
Thank you, Turt. Fast growing Turt.
She's extremely fast growing
you are
these days.
Fast growing Turt.
Correct.
Parch.
Like I'm wearing Ben's double extra large sweater today. That's sort of where I'm at. And I'm actually really excited.
Cute. I think we both got the same memo today of just like cozy vibes.
And do you know how hard it was to not wear some of the new merch? Jackie and I not to be like annoying. We have new merch coming out, I think in like, we'll tell you all about it.
Like
but
a week and a half.
No, like 2 weeks. So it's like a little early to start promoting it. But let me tell you, it's like the only thing that fits me right now. It's the only things that I want to wear because I like sized up when I ordered the samples. And the pile of clothes just stares at me every day.
I always have that experience every time we get new merch. And that's why I was like, I'm good. I had this feeling last time. Let me go wear my old merch that I was desperate to wear. And to be honest, it solved the problem.
No, but the new stuff is like really pleiny and pastel. Like that's just what I wanted to wear.
But I just want to say like shout out to
It's going to look
this,
so good in our new studio.
I just want to say shout out to this set. I love this set.
That set that we dropped is so amazing. But let me tell you, when we dropped it, I've never been more thin in my whole life. I have the whole set in a size medium. Am I okay?
I think I was PP. So this is a large. It's nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize, I got really confident. When you become a size medium after never having been even close your whole life, you kind of become obsessed with the fact that you're a size medium because you want to know what medium says. It says I'm regular. I'm average.
Don't
I'm not skinny. I'm not fat. I'm just medium.
Just like everyone else.
There's nothing embarrassing. There's no like subtext of a size medium. Do you know what I mean? You're not too small. It's Goldilocks. And when you become a size medium, which is really what I was before Ozempic, like I would say I cheated between like a size 4 and a 6.
5.
You kind of become like obsessed with it, And so I really kind of went overboard. Everything in my closet is a size medium. And let me tell you, I'm not a medium-sized girl anymore. And I kind of like was barely a medium when I was a medium, I probably should have sized up to a large, but I'm so obsessed with the connotations of the sizing. And I haven't opened my closet in weeks.
Yeah.
I just have a pile of sweatshirts that I pull from every day and my different maternity pants from Amazon, from Skims.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's hard. Make it easier.
That's all that needs to be said. It's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
Well, here's our first story, actually. Someone who recently experienced no longer being a medium. Sia files for divorce from her husband, Dan Bernard, after 2 years of marriage, while also revealing that they had a child together 11 months ago. And she wasn't a medium. Sia has filed.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm not understanding the medium connection.
Because she had a baby. So when she was pregnant, she wasn't a medium. There you go.
Got it. Okay. So you're calling a pregnant woman fat. Got it.
I'm calling a pregnant woman pregnant. How does that work for you? She wants to cancel me so bad today, and I won't let it.
Yeah, I do.
I do.
I'm going to catch you.
Yeah.
Just like I should. I'll get you good.
Sia has filed for divorce from her husband of 2 years, Dan Bernard. The petition obtained by Page Six also revealed the estranged couple welcomed a baby named Somersault Wonder. The Australian pop star who legally married Dan in December 2022 cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split and listed the date of separation as March 18th, 2025. Okay, so yesterday. Cool. They were last seen out. It's usually like months ago.
Yeah, right. So this is like just getting started.
They were last seen out together in February of this month. Oh, so that's like something happened.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Somersault was born on March 27th, 2024, meaning the child is about to be 1.
Now, let me tell you something very interesting about this whole saga. I really like Sia. She's like one of my favorite singers. I think she's enormously talented. I love her connection to the Kardashians. Their friendship is like really sweet. She's a part of so much like pop culture lore, her singing at Kathy Griffin's dining room table. Having said that, her personal life is so uninteresting to me. Like, I don't know why. She's just like in this tier of celebrity who I really care about and like, exclusively in a professional sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But she's also like made it so that she doesn't have a titillating personal life. She doesn't share a lot. Like we're conditioned to not really care or ask questions. Yeah. I actually also have felt like at times where she could literally be a whole nother person. She could like, you know, go to school with you and you wouldn't even know because she's Sia and then she's regular.
We might know because we're like sick in the head, but the average American.
Yeah. Like you might not even realize that you're next to Sia at drop off.
Right.
Which is really nice for her. But then
yes, and Somersault.
Yeah. Now like we're conditioned to just think she's regular and uninteresting.
Now, if you could when we're done with the show, go ask your kids if they like the name Bowie or the name Somersault better, because it's really starting to grow on me as well.
Somersault is?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's like a crazy celebrity name, sure. And what would you expect from Sia?
I know, but they're going to call her Summer, which is not a crazy name.
Yeah, it's not the craziest, I'll say.
Let me ask you a question. Is it Summer, first name, middle name Salt, or first name Somersault?
First name Somersault, like gymnastics. It's not even spelled like summer, like the season.
Right. So I guess it is technically like naming your kid Cartwheel.
Yeah.
Except that like the first half of Somersault is actually a pretty name. Sheena Marie Shea, Summer.
Summer Moon and Somersault. Beautiful. Right. You could have twins.
I like that.
Moon and Salt.
If I have twins, I'll probably name them Harry and Larry.
Oh, that's good.
Are you okay?
I just like spilled coffee, which is so weird. I drink coffee every day on the show. Like
there's something like really embarrassing, and I'm not saying you should be embarrassed, but like I have felt this way, where like you're just trying to drink like a normal beverage, and like I don't know, something with your lip, and it all comes like dribbling down your chin, neck, and onto your shirt. Like I don't know what it is about that experience that's like so humiliating.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm malfunctioning.
Yeah,
like
no,
I know how to drink coffee. I use the same mug every day. Nothing about that was new.
It's a very common, basic human experience. Like we teach our kids to do it when they're just, 2 years old.
Sort of like they have a sippy cup, but yeah,
right. But like it's something we learn from a very young age.
Yeah. So
it's kind of I think akin, not as bad to like tripping or falling in public. You know,
I don't feel that way. I just feel very inconvenienced.
Yeah, when you like stain your shirt. I like, maybe there's a chip in your mug.
No, there's not. I don't know. Maybe it's Bruno. Oh, Bruno's here, you guys. If you're listening as a podcast, you're missing out.
I'm sure they could hear him snoring.
Birdie.
The sweet sounds. What's Bruno's middle name?
Brunus.
Bruno Moon?
Bruno Sweets.
Bruno Sweets.
Bruno Sweets wine reb.
I like that.
Wine reb.
Of course.
Bissau.
Bissau, I like that. So for Sia, this isn't a celebrity I think needs to be added to our list. Again, her personal live, like, it doesn't interest me.
Yeah, I didn't even realize she was like in a marriage.
Me neither.
I know that she like has children. I think she's also adopted.
Oh yeah,
some children.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, she's not conventional. In terms of like, I don't now need to see her like marry someone else. Like, I feel like she's whole,
You can't put Sia in a box.
No, you cannot.
Her hair wouldn't fit.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Are you ready for our next story?
Mm-hmm.
As previously discussed, Meghan Markle is clapping back at a scared podcaster with a cheeky handwritten note. So
okay, so was it a clapback?
closures. I don't know what it was. So Amanda Hirsch, not skinny but not fat, had posted on her Instagram the trailer of With Love, Meghan.
When it came out a couple of weeks ago.
And she said, I'm scared for Meghan, which...
That was her caption.
Yeah, and she has since explained what she was scared about, but that's all she said, and that could be interpreted so many ways.
Really? Because I feel like, to be clear, the way Amanda has recently explained the caption is how I understood it initially. Like, yeah, and by the way, Amanda was right. Like, look what happened after the show. Everybody's accusing her of, stealing from Pinterest.
She was scared for Meghan for what the response would be from this show.
Right. I don't know how else you could have interpreted that. Like, I thought that was very clear.
I don't know. Like, maybe, I'm, someone's, forcing her to do this. I'm scared for her. I don't know.
No, I think if you're, a reasonable, critical thinker, you understood it the way it was meant to be understood. It wasn't...
I just want to say, I think it's a little vague, which is why it's even more surprising that Meghan responded to it. Because, how did she know what she was responding to?
In no way did I think it was shady.
No, but it wasn't heaping praise. You wouldn't be scared for someone if they were doing something amazing. You wouldn't be scared of their responses.
No, but I think it's I think it had nothing to do with what Meghan was doing. It's just the Meghan of it all. And her premonition came true. That's what's, I thought it was kind of on the money.
Right,
I don't understand.
Premonition, based on what she was seeing. It's not like everything else that Meghan has done before this. No one has been really when the Oprah trailer, you wouldn't post I'm scared. If you said I'm scared for Meghan, you wouldn't be about the reception. Be oh, is the royal
but the culture
family?
has shifted.
Right.
The culture has shifted.
Right. So anyways, she wrote a handwritten letter to Amanda that Amanda shared on her Instagram saying, Dear Amanda, I heard you were feeling scared. Don't be. This is the fun part. Let's enjoy it.
Okay, and so I'm also confused. Yeah. I'm also confused about what Meghan's letter says.
To me,
did she take Amanda's caption as shade, and this is her kind of giving the knife back a little bit?
She took Amanda's caption as shade. This is her
she did.
clapping
Okay.
back. I do think so. This is not friendly. I'm
shocked. I didn't think Amanda's thing was rude.
This is not entirely friendly. And of everything that everyone says about Meghan, in even plainer text, that she would respond to this vague take, not even a take, just a comment, a nothing, that she would sit down, get out her pen and her monogram stationery, and send a letter get Amanda's address,
right,
and send her a letter, is such a weird look for Meghan.
I actually agree. I also could see, so the way you're sort of narrating it as this was a shady comment and then the letter was a clapback, I could see that being the reality. But I also could see the reality of Amanda's comment was completely harmless. I did not think it was shady. Almost kind of defensive of Meghan. I'm scared for Meghan, what people are going to do to her. And then Meghan's response is her way of being fun and lighthearted, oh, who cares what everyone says about me? I actually do not, I know all of this happened in English. I understand that this is my native tongue. I have no idea what's going on.
Claudia, this is the fun part. Let's enjoy it. That's a threat.
Oh. Do you think so?
This is a threatening letter from an enemy.
Oh my God, it might as well have been written in blood.
It might as well have been this is a threat, and it's just so crazy that this is what she responds to. This is the only letter we've seen of this sort of thing, of her responding to internet takes, fodder.
This is the only response we've ever really seen from her. She doesn't clap back at media or shady headlines or shady bloggers. This is the first time she's literally ever seemingly defending herself.
And this is something that she could have if she posted commented on what Amanda wrote and said this that. Okay, we've got a match. But to write the letter.
Do you think when Amanda got the letter, she had no idea what the fuck Meghan was referencing?
Yeah, because it was such a blip on the screen. It's such a random. It's not it's her Instagram bio, hi, I'm Amanda and I'm scared for Meghan.
And I'm scared for Meghan. Yeah, when you're a content creator, Amanda posts a lot, does a podcast, she probably was wait, what is this in reference to?
And then Amanda, as she's talking about it, she said, beyond shook, beyond spiraling. Did I smell the paper? Yes. Do I want my own monogram? Yes. Am I absolutely flabbergasted and obsessed? Fuck yes. At Meghan, you have a fan for life.
So I'm sure Amanda's shitting her pants, being oh my God, she thinks I'm a hater. I honestly do not think Amanda's initial post had any hater energy about it. But of course, now that we've seen the picture of the letter, the letter has become the story and everybody's like reading it. And I feel like when we were talking about with Love Meghan, one of the things we talked about was her handwriting and how, like, was it a stunt double? And it turns out that no, Meghan actually has a huge background in calligraphy. Like, before her whole famous princess life, she just, like, took up calligraphy as a hobby, which would have been a great thing to highlight in your show about, like, arts and crafts, first of all. So to see the calligraphy in action was very interesting. And then, of course, everybody's zooming in on the stationery, the letterhead, the date, like everything.
I just feel like if she wanted to like send a letter to Amanda to sort of like kill her with kindness, right? Because that is a way of, you know, shutting someone up, like to be the bigger, like to send a letter and then they know that you've seen what they said and like all of a sudden your tail between your legs. I feel like there's so many different things she could have said to accomplish that. And this is a very threatening letter. And the fact that Amanda is like, you know, totally disarmed. And it's like, love you forever.
Yeah, forever a fan.
She's scared for her life.
She's scared for life. I need people to sound off in the comments because I'm just like, I am not thoroughly convinced that Amanda's initial post was shady or that the letter was shady. Like, I am not sure how to receive this.
And maybe you're right. I haven't even,
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm right.
read what other people have said. So
Me neither.
Let's game it out where it's not shady. Let's talk it through.
Right. Okay. So Amanda posts this thing. Like, I'm scared for Meghan, you know, like people are going to tear her up. Everything she does gets like eaten alive, yada, yada. And like, it's all like in jest, but also at its core, like protecting and fearful for Meghan.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing to be fearful. Meghan sees that. And she kind of wants to rise above. Like, yeah, I know what everybody says about me, but we're having fun. Like, here's a letter. I actually don't know. Like, I can't even begin to understand. Like, because this is so crazy.
I just feel like if you're going to support someone, like, yes, amongst other things, you could worry how it will be received for them.
Yes, it's definitely something people care. When people care about you, that's something they do.
But that's not the first and only thing you say. This looks amazing. Meghan stepping into her truth. I worry about there are so many other things. So her comment was shady.
You really think so?
It wasn't.
Now, I'm sure if we were to ask Amanda, she would say, especially now, like that it wasn't shady.
I would say she barely thought about it.
Yeah, right. It's just, and also, here's the thing, and this is kind of my worst nightmare, because every time I post something on social media, on any platform, I'm like, what should I caption it? Nobody fucking cares. Like, these days, especially with Reels and TikTok, like, nobody's reading your caption. So the fact that like a caption made news and, you know, she just wanted to post the trailer and get it up quickly because like in this line of work, you got to be first.
Yeah.
She just threw some shit up on the caption and the caption is like what made Meghan write a letter.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I don't even think she gave it a second thought. I think if you asked her
captions
what she
are
meant
meaningless.
By it, she might not even be able to tell us.
Captions are so meaningless. They're full of fake words. I actually, the other day, put something up and wrote a caption. I'm like, I feel like I've written this caption before. And I actually scrolled on my own Instagram. It was like, I don't even remember. It was like for a reel. And I had written word for word, emoji for emoji, the same exact caption. Because captions are just like bookends.
It's
like they're stupid. Yeah. So the fact that like she probably threw some shit up on the caption, like really, I think we're definitely overthinking it because creators don't think about captions. Nobody reads them.
Right. So the fact that Meghan read it, internalized it, wrote a letter. This is weeks later too, because she had shared the trailer. That was what she.
I'm telling you, it took Amanda definitely 2 hours to put together the map of what Meghan is talking about.
Yeah, I was feeling scared about what.
Yeah, like what's wrong, Meghan?
Don't be. This is the fun part. Let's enjoy it, because that's saying like if you don't enjoy it, you won't have fun.
No. Here's what she's saying. Let's enjoy it with a gun to her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll mind what we say.
I just feel like Amanda probably has the biggest pit ever. And I want to say, like, you did nothing wrong.
I feel like she had the biggest pit when she got the letter, because that's the worst when you say something about someone, even not even like a negative thing, just to say anything and it reaches them. Like, seriously, I hate that. Of
course, no. In this line of work, you're kind of used to like talking about people at a much higher level than you, like celebrities, and it's not meant for them to hear. It's for the lay people. It's for everyone else.
Yeah. So then the idea of them hearing
when they enter our arena, it's like, get out of here.
No, this isn't like it's about you, but it's not for you.
It reminds me when Justin Bieber came for Morgan Stewart for something she said on like Fashion Police or
that is
something,
so
or
funny.
Nightly Pop, excuse me. And he like took the clip, put it on Twitter. He like came for her really fucking hard. It's like, well, it's not for you, Nightly Pop. It's not for you, Justin. Like, I don't like when celebrities enter like commoner spaces.
Yeah, it's really true. So I think when she got the letter, she probably had a pit, but I think now she's like, it's become like such a
story. And it's like honestly great for Amanda's like PR. Like in this job, you know, when people are talking about you and your podcast and your Instagram, it's all good.
And I think it's like, it's a good look for Amanda and it's not a great look for Meghan. Net.
I completely agree.
Ring.
Yeah, it's red rum.
Let's enjoy it, Claudia. You better fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's like, here's Johnny. Let's enjoy it. Maybe we'll get a letter.
I don't think she takes time to listen to podcasts.
No, it's true. Like, this was all,
if we clipped something we said about her, like then maybe she would see it because I think she's on Instagram, but she's not listening to this Nalafi.
Here's Meghan.
Okay, let's enjoy it, guys.
No, it's seriously so crazy. Sending like thoughts, prayers, and all my love to Amanda. Like that's my worst nightmare.
It really is a nightmare. A waking nightmare.
And the thing is we say such crazy things about people. Like of all the things that somebody could respond to, when Amanda said like what we don't even know if it was shady.
It's always that, by the way. It's always like the random thing that you said.
Yeah, because like if
that's why
somebody can't respond to a fire point,
you can't like worry about it. Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even want to know if somebody heard what I said. If they want to say something, I actually don't want to know.
No, I mean I just was telling you. I sent you that thing, like somebody we talked about.
Oh right. And you know what? I don't even care. Great, you listened to it and you didn't like it. And you unfollowed us. Great.
And you unfollowed us. Like
great. We're like
once we start censoring ourselves, we have lost it all.
Like I'm never gonna meet these people. I don't care.
No, that's also what's such a fabulous part of not being a guest-based show is that we could talk about people and never worry. Because one of my nightmares is, I think I told you this when it happened. I think I said it on the podcast, is when the chicks in the office had Katy Perry. This is so funny. They had Katy Perry on their show, and like the Katy fans like went back and found like shit they had said because they recap pop culture.
Yeah, they talk about
and when
her.
when Katy had that like nun murdered for like her house or whatever. Remember she was in that lawsuit. The nun died. It was like this whole real estate thing, and they were just like making funny jokes about it and never thinking like, of course, back then that Katy Perry would be on their show. Meanwhile, cut to. That is my worst nightmare, and that's why we don't have people on the show so we can continue to speak freely.
It's true. It's true. Are you ready for our next story?
3?
Three?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Colleen Hoover put out a weird ass Instagram video saying she's broke as shit after a merch sale amid the It Ends With Us drama.
Not only was there, I watched the whole Instagram story set. I could tell you all about it.
Great. Please do. I'll just share the need to know details. Colleen Hoover is spilling the Diet Pepsi tea.
Right.
The author revealed that all of her merch on her website has been marked down to $10 an item amid the ongoing It Ends With Us drama, which was going to leave her, quote, broke as shit. She said that's
not what she said. Okay, like this is so misleading. So she put up 5 Instagram stories and they were so weird that it really caught people's attention. And then the thing at the end about the sale. So the first 3 stories were her, first of all, moving so slowly.
Yeah.
I don't know if she... Yeah, I don't know if I've never seen her Instagram stories before. So I don't know if this is her usual way of talking and moving on camera. If so, it's fucking insufferable. If not, she looked drunk, being dead serious. But I don't think that she was. I think that's just like how she talks on social media. And look at me, I talk so like I just couldn't keep up with it. She basically was showing us she made ice cubes out of Diet Pepsi. She's like a big soda gal. And of course, you know, watery soda when your ice and your Stanley melts like. So she made, and she's a Pepsi, not a Coke girl. She made cubes out of Pepsi and was going to share it with us. And then she did this whole boring thing about putting the ice in the cup and the Diet Pepsi, taste testing, all to be like, well, it's good. It's good. It tastes like every other Pepsi I had. We won't know if it worked for a few hours. I'm like, oh, riveting. Like it was just so boring. Then that was 3 frames. The last 2 frames were sharing that her merch has been put on sale. And it was like, people are taking it out of context because it would be like if you and I had a big sale. I'd be like, Jackie put all the merch on sale. Don't tell anyone. It's like a marketing technique. Do you know what I mean? So she's like, my boss just called me and was like, we put all the merch on sale for $10. Like, I'm going to go broke with how cheap it is. It's like a marketing ploy. Oh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she said that's like 5 times cheaper than what I paid for each item, which means by the end of the day today, I'm going to be broke as shit. Because I was about to be like, girl, merch is not your business.
Merch is also not your problem.
No, like you have the biggest books of all time.
People are taking it like far too literally.
Oh, wow. So this is really some muckraking over here.
Yes, it's kind of like when we say, you know, the warehouse is so sick.
Oh, yeah.
The warehouse
Oh, my
has a
God.
cough because our merch is so sick.
They,
You say dumb shit.
If they were like,
to sell
pandemic
merch.
breaks out at Toast Merch Warehouse.
Because all the items are so sick.
Everyone in quarantine.
Yeah, and like it's a marketing ploy. It's a tactic, and she's not broke.
I just feel like the way that she's talking, it's just like not clear that she's joshing ya.
No, especially because the pace and the cadence of her voice was insufferable. I don't know if I've ever watched an Instagram story of hers. This might have been my first time.
And I'll just say, like, this is why you should not seek out or follow your favorite authors on Instagram. It's never going to be what you want it to be, and it might ruin your favorite books.
1000%. When I first got into reading, you were the one who told me, like, never look up the authors, like, on Goodreads. And you were so right. Especially because if you're writing like sexy books, then you're like thinking about the author writing it and she's like someone's mom. It's just like, it's too much information. So much so that when I first started reading before I got a Kindle, I would like flip really fast past the front cover. So I didn't even catch a picture because, you know, they have a little author picture on the front flap. You're so right. We need to know less about authors.
Bring back pen names.
Yes.
What's the one? Daniel Handler.
Who's that?
Lemony Snicket. Well, that was his pen name, Lemony Snicket.
Got it.
And I just said his real name.
Bring back pen names.
Yeah.
Especially for smutty novels.
Yeah. So Colleen's not going broke from the lawsuit that she's not involved in. Okay.
And if you are going to like research an author, obviously do it when you're done with the book, but it will change how you reflect on the book.
It's true. It is true. Are you ready for our next story?
Number 4. That's brought to you by Vivrel.
Yes. Pargelish.
So Vivrel is the first of its kind luxury accessories members only club, providing members access to borrow designer handbags, jewelry, watches, and diamonds. So when you become a member at Vivrel, you can treat their closet.
Friend, Alicia?
Yeah. You can treat their closet like your own. You can borrow anything within within your tier. They have no return dates, so you can swap items once per month, keep items for as long as you'd like. Memberships start at $45 a month. And when I tell you they have like designer items, they have designer items. They have Chanel bags, Prada bags, like literally anything you can imagine. New stuff too, stuff I've never seen, like one of a kind items. It's so sick. They have so many bags too, so you can always find something that you want. It's a great way to like be a designer girly without investing in a new bag every month. It's kind of insane. Like when things also are so trendy, you're like not always wanting to invest. Obviously, like a timeless bag is a timeless bag. You want to invest in it, like that's on you. But some of these like trendier bags, kind of worried about like spending all the money when maybe it won't be in style in a year. So Vivrel is amazing for that too. It's also just like $45 a month. Great for a trip. And don't sleep on their jewelry. I was just talking to Shannon because she borrowed something from Vivrel. Van Cleef. It was like, it's so, I actually hadn't done their jewelry, but they have fabulous jewelry as well. So go to Vivrel.com. You can apply for a membership today using our code TOAST. That'll also get you 30% off 4 months of membership. The code will also allow you to skip the wait list. That's Vivrelle.com. Our code is TOAST for 30% off 4 months of membership, which is, I think, a great investment in your future. Today's episode is also brought to you by Roback. Summer is right around the corner. It's time to get your summer bod ready with Roback. It's time to throw away your crusty, dusty workout clothes and revamp your closet. And Roback's active dresses and shorts are the most comfortable things ever. Now, let me say, I don't plan on being like an active girly this summer. That's just not the era that I'm in. But that doesn't mean I won't be wearing an active dress. I think active dresses, when the weather gets nice, it's just the most comfortable way to live, especially if you're doing walks. Throwing on a cardigan makes it look nice. You can go out to lunch. I feel like last summer we exclusively wore active dresses, and the ones from Roback are so great. Especially because when you go to the bathroom, you don't have to pull the whole thing off, especially if you're like a little sweaty. It's like kind of torture. They have built-in shorts that you can pull down without having to take the entire dress off. With all your bathroom breaks, especially as like a pregnant woman, it's an important feature of the dress. Also, don't sleep on their sets. That's like what got me into Roback in the first place. They're men's and women's sets. They have crew necks, hoodies, joggers. They're so comfortable. They're so aesthetic. It's a great way to like try very little while also looking put together and like you tried really hard. We have a code. It's TOAST when you go to Roback.com. It'll get you a generous 20% off your first order. And it's only available through the end of this week. So that's Roback, RHOBACK.com. Our code is TOAST, TOAST. It'll get you 20% off your first order through the end of this week. Check out their active dresses, check out their sets, all their active wear, but also don't sleep on their men's stuff. It's really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next story, some intergalactic news that we actually haven't shared an update on since the news updated, that I actually, a bit that I thought you would find was funny, but the astronauts are home. The astronauts.
I know there's like a bunch of astronauts that were stuck up there.
There's two that were stuck because the reunion video, I think that was where like part of the rescue from the other.
Because like to me, the
rocket.
face of this whole saga was that woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny when she comes down to Earth, like she looks different because her hair, like because of gravity.
Is settled.
Yeah.
But also I saw a video of her, like she hasn't walked for 10 months. So she couldn't even get up.
No, I know. I saw like people were saying how in the past when people come back from space, like they don't know how to walk. They drop everything because they're just used to like they forget about gravity. Yeah. So they faint a lot. So it's actually going to be like you know, kind of a long journey for them to adjust back to Earth. But here's the jaw-dropping amount that the NASA astronauts Butch, Wilmore, and Suni Williams are likely to be paid after an 8-day mission that turned into 9 months.
Right. Do you sue?
Or like, don't you get paid handsomely?
Right. Are you getting paid per hour? Because at that point, what was 8 days is now 800. How many days is 10 months? 300.
365 minus
300.
60. 300.
300.
Yeah. So
it's literally like 30 times what you were supposed to do.
yeah. So NASA is now expected to compensate the astronauts for their extended stay in space, though an exact figure has not been released. However, a former NASA astronaut, Katie Coleman, said that astronauts only receive their basic salary without overtime benefits for incidentals, a small amount they are legally obligated to pay you. She said, for me, it was around $4 a day. She received approximately $636 in incidental pay for her 150-day mission between 2010 and 2011.
$600?
600. For these people, they're estimating they would get about like $90K all in.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Well, are they going to sue? Like, are they mad?
I don't know. I wasn't getting like mad vibes, but they should be big mad.
Well, the thing is, if I'm up there and the only people who can like get me back, like I'm not going to start like, you know, doing televised interviews. No, I'm going to be like, they're doing their best.
Yeah.
And then I get back down on Earth and it's scorched Earth for these bitches. So maybe now they'll get mad, but you're right. Every time I like saw an interview, they were like, we're having fun. Look, my pee floats. Like,
I think they also lost their minds.
Oh, 1,000%. And NASA needs to cover all like mental health expenses. They need severe therapy.
Yeah.
And you know they fucking hate each other, these two. Like they were supposed to be stuck in this thing for 8 days and they're in this tiny little thing where they have to like, sleep on a mat for 10 months. No, this is hell.
But you don't think it's also maybe like an astronaut's dream, like that you get stuck in space? And I feel like they did always know that they could come back because SpaceX could always get them because SpaceX like runs trips to the space station all the time. It was just a matter of like NASA
politics.
Yeah, politics. Like because it's a NASA mission and, you know, then they had to go and ask Elon to pick them up.
Right. I don't know if like this is something you just come to like expect it's part of like the lived astronaut experience, like that this might happen. It does seem really out of the ordinary and really crazy and like, okay, maybe if they thought 8 days, but we ended up spending 2 weeks. Like 10 months.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's unacceptable. And if I'm the families, maybe the astronauts themselves aren't mad. Astronauts' families are mad.
Yeah, because I think
you stole
also,
my mom for 10 months.
In order to be an astronaut, like you go through a lot of testing, like mental and physical. You have to be a very even keel person, like that's like works well under pressure. Not someone who's just going to fly off the handle because things didn't go the way that they said that they were going to go.
So what you're saying is I couldn't be an astronaut.
You cannot be an astronaut. However, you're right in that their families don't go through that testing. Their families can be emotional.
So I hope both families sort of band together. They deserve $1 million minimum each.
Yeah. Plus like the mental rehabilitation, the physical, the time lost with family.
I want them at the best psychological and physical rehabilitation centers in the country. No cost to them.
But so far, the reunion and the rescue has been really
joyous.
It's all
been positive.
When they landed in the water, there was dolphins around the capsule.
I know. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's all been joyous, for sure.
But you want revenge now.
Of course. There has been no anger. And if that's me, like, I'm angry.
I know, but they have the temperament of an astronaut. They are the elk of astronauts.
Whatever, like, the equivalent of, like, the Tony Busby lawyer is of the astronaut sphere, they need the Tony Busby.
Yeah, but I could also see this becoming a movie where, like, it's Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt, and then they're stuck for 10 months, and now they're fucking. And then they have to go home to their families, but they've fallen in love in space. And so maybe they, like, go back to, like, this, just like Kennedy Space Center, and they, like, go in a simulation where there's no gravity, and they
just
can, like,
to feel something.
Recreate what they had.
That movie sounds amazing.
Yeah, I feel like
it's not like based on a true story, but it's inspired by real events.
Inspired by real events. And we don't know that they didn't fall in love. We don't know what happened on that capsule.
Right. It is crazy that, like, it was, and I think they're both heterosexual, like that it was a man and a woman, not like two girls or two guys, or it's just like there is potential for love here.
If I'm the wife back home, I'm pissed.
Yeah. And, like, are you concerned?
A little bit.
Because at the end of the day, you couldn't even blame them for falling in love. What else do you do?
No. Like,
they don't have Netflix up there, do they?
I think they do. I mean, they have all the technology in the stratosphere.
But you need Wi-Fi.
They're connected. They could talk back home. Like, they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I think maybe they have, like, a portable DVD player.
They definitely have Kindle. Well, no, maybe not, because, like, Jeff
Because
Bezos,
of Blue Sky.
Yeah.
They have, like, a Barnes & Noble Nook.
They have, like, a Fire tablet.
E-reader.
Yeah. Plus, they have Starlink Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but, like, I'm sure the whole, like, zero gravity thing gets old really quickly. Like, it's fun, haha, not for 10 months.
Yeah, no, they were just even in that video where they're, like, reuniting and everyone's, like, bouncing off the walls.
It's so crazy.
It is really crazy.
And I wonder, like, what would happen if you put your hair in a ponytail? Because her hair was loose the whole time,
then
but obviously it was...
would be up like a...
Right, so I guess that does... Unless you did, like, a really slick back bun.
Ooh, could it be defying gravity, do you think?
I think there are buns so slick that they do defy gravity.
I feel like there are products that are like anti-gravity mist.
Yeah, right. From, like, a Mika.
Okay, let's put it to the test.
SpaceX, here we come.
So funny. Well, I'm happy for them.
I'm happy these people are home.
Get your money.
Literally.
Don't settle for anything less than $1 million.
$90K.
Yeah,
Sick. How about $90K per month? Then we're at $1 million.
Are you ready for our next story that will lead into our TV recap of Summer House?
Yes, I am.
Because our fifth and final story, like, Craig and Paige are making news offline, off shows about their breakup. So first, the trailer for next week's Southern Charm, a little teaser dropped tonight's episode of Southern Charm is the finale. So it's when we'll cut to winter.
The future.
Craig goes to his buddies. She broke up with me. I bought a ring. And he says that Paige broke up with him over the phone after a great Thanksgiving together. So he tells Austin and Craig the story that pretty much we heard on Watch What Happens Live from him, that they had a great Thanksgiving at her parents' house. Then maybe 1 or 2 weeks later, she called him like, I think we need to break up. He waited a few days to, like, see her in person in New York, and then they, like, confirmed the breakup. In those few days was when, like, Southern Charm premiered, and then by Christmas, New Year's is when they told us. So he's sharing that on Southern Charm tonight. Like, I'm sat, have to watch. But then Paige shared a lot of details about their relationship on the Summer House after show with Amanda and Sierra. She said that she tolerated too much in her relationship with Craig.
Can I tell you, as somebody who loved these two so much as a couple, everything I'm seeing now makes me so sad. At the end of the day, though, the net positive is that this really wasn't the relationship that we all thought it was. And when we were breaking down, like, the day after they broke up, like, what? Oh, Charleston. It was so much more than that. And these two people were actually, like, not right for each other. So that's, like, the only peace and solace that I have. But to see it, like, get ugly really makes me sad because I liked them. I like them both individually so much. But as a couple, like, they really brought so much joy to the Bravo universe. And I think that both of their experiences, like, are their own. And I feel like this week on Summer House, you could really see, like, they are speaking the same language, but they are not understanding one another. Like, Paige, you know, when Craig is checking in on the status of their relationship, and especially as it pertains to this big tour when they already don't spend so much time together because they're long distance, you know, he sees that as a check-in, right? She sees it as sort of like a doubting and like making her big moment about him. Yeah. And so while I think that they're both valid in how they receive that conversation, like, they really were not on the same page at all. Like, they were never gonna get to, like, a middle ground place, honestly.
Yeah, and maybe when they started dating, they were, like, closer to the same page, and then over the last 3 years, they've just moved further apart to where now they're just, like, even if someone's saying something with, like, a good, fine intention, it's just totally, like, misconstrued based on how different they are at this point.
Yeah. So, and I thought that was a great question that Andy asked Sierra and Amanda on Watch What Happens Live last night, was like, oh my God, did you guys know like Paige was so, he said like checked out of the relationship? Because watching this week's episode, he said next week it's even worse. Like, did you guys know at the time? And they were like, no. Watching it, like we can see she clearly is. But at the time we didn't know. But so the fact that they broke up, like between them, probably wasn't shocking. But it was to us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and a few weeks ago on Watch What Happens Live, Sierra had said that she wasn't shocked when they broke up.
She's right.
Yeah, so maybe over the summer she didn't see like what she's seeing now, but by the winter, like she knew that Paige was like having doubts and over it.
And another big thing from the after show that's making headlines is that it's Paige, it's the girls, and the question that gets asked to Amanda is, do you think Kyle regrets anything he said on that episode of Watch What Happens Live about Craig? And she was like, he should regret some of the things that he says, but he definitely doesn't. And then Paige said, I don't think he should regret it.
Yeah, now things for like a few weeks, they both really like wanted to take the high road. Like relationships can end, but we have like love and respect for each other. And then after like the cheating allegations that like Craig refused to respond to,
get involved in,
now like things have turned nasty, and now they're hearing what the other person has said about them on their show. So then you just like, then you want to get your side out. So now she's sharing a lot in the after show of Summer House. She said that she was really blinded in her relationship. She said, I think I loved him so much that I tolerated too much. And now that I'm out of it and I look back at things, I'm like, oh, wait. So she said anytime she had a personal or professional milestone, Craig would find a way to make it about him. She said it was just embarrassing. So that's something that I look back on now and I'm like, oh, wow, I was really very blinded. I had to do a lot of damage control. She acknowledged that her tour for Giggly Squad also affected her relationship with Craig, who already thought that she worked too much. She said, when I started having a panic attacks this fall while I was doing Giggly Squad shows, he just thought it was because I was working too much. So it played into his whole, well, you work too much and you shouldn't be doing all of this thing. She also said that Craig had once encouraged her to watch a documentary about Swedish pop group ABBA's journey with touring and how it, quote, ruined their marriages and their lives. She said, I was like, I just got a beta blocker prescription, but thank you so much for the nightly TV watch.
No, recommending somebody who's having a panic attack a documentary is such a crazy thing to do. I was actually laughing when I heard that. And this is what I mean. Like, this is what I was saying. I don't think either of them were like ill-intended in, like, I'm sure Craig thought he was being helpful when he said that, you know? Mm-hmm. But like when they really are so far off from one another in terms of like goals and the future, and they've become even more further off, that they're going to see the worst in what the other person does or says.
Yeah, that's really what's happening. Because I can,
like he sees her diving into work as like a personal attack, and she sees him like questioning her schedule as an attack on her accomplishments. Like,
yeah, no, and her diving into work, like for him, it's like, well, he's right to feel like, but what, like, are we going to get married? Are we going to have kids? Like, those things can happen. Like, that's fair. But then for her, it's so fair to be like, of course I'm going to do these things. This is a huge moment,
but also this is a huge moment for me.
Yeah, no, like this is what I've been working for. Like, this is my dream. How can you, what do you mean?
Your mic flag's upside down?
Claudia, when will you understand?
Jackie, when will you understand, like, what if this clip goes viral and they don't know what show this is because they have to look upside down at their phone? You know, thank you.
You're not on this camera?
No, because you're the one being so funny and on point.
Not when I'm interrupted.
Well, maybe your mic flag wasn't upside down. You wouldn't be interrupted. But it's all good. Continue.
I don't know what I'm saying.
One question that Andy asked Amanda on Watch What Happens Live that I thought was such a good point that I'd never thought about was about Hannah Berner. And he was like, so have you never been to a Giggly Squad show? She was like, no.
That's weird.
I know, and I actually really appreciated her answer. She's like, I'm not even going to ask. Like, that's Hannah's thing, first of all. It's half Hannah.
Yeah.
So my presence like would unnerve her, and it's like her thing. So I don't want to make her uncomfortable. But also, like, it definitely puts Paige in a weird spot too, because Paige is gonna be like, Hannah, my friend Amanda wants to come. Like, but I thought it was so interesting that she hadn't been.
But
yet.
then it's also weird that she's not like been there for Paige one time to like support her show, even though I know she supports her, but like that's really weird.
I know. And then Andy asked like a bunch of follow-up questions about Hannah. And I find it really interesting how Kyle and Amanda talk about Hannah now. They're like, it's very much, they're the Kim Kardashian and Hannah's the Taylor. They're like, over it. Like, we wish her the best. Like, she's crushing it. Like, she's so happy. And I'm sure if you asked Hannah, which she'd never go on Watch What Happens Live, but like if she was in the same spot, like, I don't think she looks back as rose-colored glasses as they do. Like, that was really, I think, a very, very hard traumatic time for her.
Yeah.
But they're all like, well, we wish her the best. I'm sure she don't wish them the best.
Because it keeps coming up, like I really want to watch it because I don't understand it. And I'm just like, why can't Hannah and Amanda make up, even if Hannah doesn't ever want to talk to Kyle again?
Yeah.
But, like, they can't.
They can't. Also, I thought that was interesting on Watch What Happens Live. Like a lot of the questions about Craig and any like shady answers, like more so came from Sierra. Because like Amanda's really not in a position to be like critiquing relationships or like, partners and how supportive they are. And I think that's actually very self-aware of her. She was not being like overtly critical of Craig. Like when she was like, oh, he was blinded by love. Like her answers, I think, because if she started pointing fingers, that's like not a game you want to play when your husband is Kyle.
No, and when you can see how the things that we see on TV might not be representative of the issues in your relationship for better or for worse. Like, of course, we see that conversation between Paige and Craig and we're like, oh, doomsday is coming. But like if they hadn't broken up 6 months later and they've
had conversations like that over the last 5 years on Summer House and Southern Charm.
Now this time it's like, oh, well, of course they broke up. But in the past, it's like they're working through their issues.
Yeah.
So I think Amanda can understand how a conversation like that is on TV, but we're working through our issues.
Right. In terms of the actual episode, I thought it was a great episode. I was cracking up. Have you ever heard of putting like a birthday cake in the oven?
No.
To store? To me, like I couldn't. Because when they were cleaning up, they had this like birthday cake.
Yeah.
It was from Magnolia Bakery. And I don't think there was space in the fridge. And like, do you put a cake in the fridge? It's like half eaten. And Gabby was like, no, you put it in the oven with the oven off.
Yeah. But still,
you store it in the oven.
Coldness because it has dairy.
I don't know.
Like you wouldn't put milk in the oven. Like you wouldn't put milk on the counter even. And if you're going to put it in the oven, why not just leave it on the counter? The oven is warmer. Because like the counter,
like the elements, I don't know.
The oven is warmer and you don't want your warm dairy.
I was like, is that a thing people do with birthday cakes?
I don't think so. To me, it makes no sense, but let us know. I mean, it would be great to, because like that's like a little second fridge, but that doesn't make sense because it's dairy.
Oh, one thing that bothered me on Watch What Happens Live and in reference to the episode, because there was that moment between Jesse and Sierra where he was like being flirty, your thighs turning me on, whatever. And then Andy was like, Sierra, would you ever like be interested in Jesse? And Amanda's like, yes. And Sierra's like, And it's like, that's the type of behavior like you hated that Wes did, like going through multiple girls in the house. You hated when Austin did it. I feel like if I'm Lexi, I'm so annoyed at this whole thing. And the fact that like that thing happened on the episode last night, and Sierra did nothing wrong in the episode. I thought she actually like, he was being kind of weird and she behaved appropriately. But like now on Watch What Happens Live, like egging it on and being like, yeah, we ship. It's like, well, that's what we've been yelling at Wes for, like that you didn't like, and now you're kind of participating in the same exact behavior.
Yeah. And Jesse and Lexi are not together right now, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know
that
nothing.
Seems to be like a big mystery.
Right.
But it really is on Jesse. It seems like this
Jesse Sierra thing like keeps continuing.
Yeah, because next week it looks like they have a conversation about like why didn't we ever give it a shot?
Right, and he was like, I let Wes just sort of like,
I don't know, but I'm going to give Jesse the benefit of the doubt that like, because like this week he really had his, aside from the leg and the humping, like when he was in the gym, he was saying all the right things. I don't want to have my head turned, like I'm Lexi, I miss her, I'm having fun with my boys, but I miss her. So maybe he can hold on to that for a few more hours at the party.
At the gym when he said that, and then Kyle was like, yeah, but if you don't have the exclusivity clause yet, why don't you use this party while Lexi's out of town to like meet and talk to some girls? Has there ever been worse advice given to anybody? Especially from somebody who's married?
There's literally never been worse advice because
I was like, I wanted to shake Jesse, like, don't do that.
That's not a way to get one more bang in. That's a way to make sure you and Lexi never become exclusive.
Some of the worst fucking advice. I mean, not shocking, the worst advice.
Yeah.
Also something funny because it reminded me when Carl, so this is almost a year ago, he's talking about Soft Bar, which still hasn't launched. And then Andy on Watch What Happens Live was talking to Amanda about her swimsuits and was like, and Amanda, I just want to congratulate you for being the first Bravo star in history to line up a product launch with the season airing. You're talking about the swimsuits and you can buy the swimsuits now. It's kind of brilliant. And it was so funny. And then I actually felt like it was a direct dig at Soft Bar.
Yeah.
Like they still don't have a bar.
Dig at Soft Bar. I think he's still mad at Austin Kroll for not getting Trop Pop off the ground after like seasons of promotion. And like then at the reunion, Andy's like, so where can you buy it? And he's like, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny. And then of course, Spring Summer Joggers, She by Sheree.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so the episode, they had this big pirate party that like Carl's taking really seriously for some reason because he has this girl coming who seems really cute.
Yeah, she does.
And because Lindsay's not there. So it's like, this is Carl's bat mitzvah.
Which like makes it weirder. Just be normal, you know? Like just go to a party and like it doesn't have to be so much pressure.
I know. It's just everything Carl does. I don't know if it's like these days post Lindsay. I don't necessarily always remember feeling this way about him, but like everything he does has just like this pathetic aura to it.
But I think I think maybe like he's inherently like that, but then he also like heaps it on because I think he like wants us to forget that he ended the engagement, that Lindsay was going to marry him. He is the reason why they're not married and why she's not carrying his child. So I guess it's a good way to make us forget that, because otherwise he's the villain. And I don't see him as a villain because of the way that he carries himself.
Yes, sad sack. He wants to be seen as the victim, sad sack, celibate, haven't had sex in a year. Why? You broke up with the girl.
No, and he thinks it like helps him that like Lindsay moved on so quickly and that she's pregnant because he's still here. Like, I'm celibate.
Right. And literally acting like he got broken up with.
I don't think anybody is falling for it. However, it has helped in like neutralizing any strong opinions that I had. Like, listen, bro, just go talk to your lemur girl, okay?
No, yeah, he's so pathetic. Like, that's the word. And even when she like gave him a compliment and she was like, you look like a lemur. Okay, I'll go kill myself. Like, it's like
he's likes so lemurs.
I know. And it's like even like the good things in his life, like this girl complimenting him, like they're sad.
No, and like, is that girl gonna stay at the house? That was a bad idea.
Terrible.
When he said, "Are you staying
Jesse.
here?" I thought he meant like in the Hamptons.
I should hope so. What, you drive 3 hours for a party with a pirate
ship?
Am
I staying here? Maybe like it was just no. That's no.
Did you pack a bag? Do you have clean undies?
No.
So yeah, it was like a big moment for Carl for some reason, this party. And what else happened? I did not understand why Amanda and Sierra were dressed as birds.
Because like pirates have birds with them, like a parrot.
Right. So when so when they took the picture and Sierra had, Paige had both of them on her arms, I then understood the parrot. But Sierra was dressed as a seagull.
Maybe she was like a dove.
No, I think she said I'm a seagull.
Well, I think they could also have seagulls. Like maybe it's not only parrots.
No, I think it is. Like that's the shtick.
That's like one person's shtick, maybe from like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
Let me see. Pirate birds.
Also, I feel like now because they're broken up and we know that like Paige is like very much team lover boy. It's not surprising, but when you're watching the episode, just like for where they are in their relationship, it's like very clear that Paige is mad at Craig for like getting into this fight with Kyle, and she's like annoyed that they're here because of him. Like she's not on his side, which now makes sense, but at the time it's like, well, that's your man, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's interesting how the primary feeling she's feeling is like annoyed at him.
I know, but it's also like the issue, I think, regardless of like our personal
it's so hard. We have to take ourselves out of it.
Actually, when I'm watching this, they blur out spirits. Like I actually don't feel like attached to it in the moment. So the issue is that like Kyle has completely co-opted the show with Loverboy, and why can't anyone on the cast, let alone a castmate's boyfriend, do anything with any other alcohol or canned cocktail company? Like, why? That's not right. So even though it's very inconvenient for Paige that Craig went and did this,
yes,
and it's gonna cause a breagus with Kyle and Amanda, and that's very inconvenient, and we don't want to fight with our friends, they're wrong for asserting that it has to be this way and only this way, and nobody else, whether they're cast members or not, can do something with another brand. Like, what? Yes. You're not paying people.
No, at its core, and that's what's so interesting. You know, Jesse Solomon did like a big Truly ad the other day.
I feel like at some point Kyle has to like just start to act normal.
No, I feel like Kyle
it.
literally. I think Kyle facilitated the deal to be like, I didn't get Hannah fired for doing something with Truly. I love Truly and White Claw. Like, I feel like he's now, because that's what's being said about Kyle, and that's what bothers him so much. That's why he was texting Paige. I didn't get Hannah fired because she did an ad with another drink company. It's like this thing that people know about Kyle, and it bothers him that people know it. So I feel like he told Jesse to do it.
Why would he behave the same way with Spritz? Why?
Say that again?
Why would he behave the same way about Spritz? Like, why wouldn't he pretend to be cool with it? He didn't feel that way at the time.
He didn't feel that way at the time. Like the Truly thing happened, and then the Spritz thing happened, and then after the Spritz thing happened, everybody brought up the Hannah Truly thing again. So it became this like big narrative about Kyle.
And now he's trying to pretend like it's not a pattern.
So now I think he's trying to. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Truly and said, "My friend Jesse needs a deal," like just to counteract the narrative about him.
Got it.
Like I'm sure Jesse did that with complete approval.
Yeah. That's really interesting. But yeah, I just think it's crazy that there's this expectation of exclusivity for literally everyone in their orbit, and only they're allowed to make money on canned cocktails and no one else can work in this huge space. And Craig was funny in the car about Kendall and Kylie, like such a random example, but so true.
Yeah, it was a random example, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
He's so funny.
And then I thought that we were going to get like the Craig versus Kyle fight last night, but it's next week. So
yeah. And I think it was fair that like Craig didn't want to have the fight the first night.
No, also the vibe that I was getting was that if they were going to talk about it, they were going to talk about it right there at the table with everybody around, which is really not productive.
Yeah, and that's not like an in the weeds conversation. It's just like, man, I'm sorry. Like he has ish.
Well, that's what Kyle thinks. Kyle thinks it's just going to be like, bro, I didn't mean to, bro, I'm sorry. And Craig is actually like a very emotional person. And so I think, you know, us having this conversation after a long day in the middle of the table with everybody, there's no room for nuance. And I think Craig has a lot more to say than I think Kyle's expecting.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Southern Charm recap from Jackie O tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, I have to watch. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and you didn't recap last week, so.
I didn't. And something crazy happened that I just wanted to mention. Oh, Vanita and JT, the girls are fighting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw Vanita making a lot of news.
Venmo and the $5,000.
Yes, $5,000.
Okay, because like Vanita has actually been vindicated, because I told this to Ben, but I need to tell it to you, because remember when JT said like, I don't want to date you, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Then they went to the Bahamas and he's like crying because he's fighting with everyone, and she goes up to his room and she's like putting the moves on him. And he's like says in his confessional how she's like throwing herself at him and it's really hard to say no, but he has a girlfriend. And she's like, I want JT. I love JT. Me and JT. It's really crazy. And then she posted in her Instagram story, the conversation where he told her that he has a girlfriend happened after the Bahamas. And they aired it before the Bahamas and made her look really stupid.
Wait, that's like really evil.
Yeah, really evil. So I was glad that she cleared her name, and I was like, okay, we can't like trust everything, but we know that it's TV. But like, okay, Vanita like hasn't lost her damn mind.
Wait, I feel so bad for her. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, but she really cleared her name, and like people,
Good.
we had moved on from it. And so JT, like there was this like the thing with the barber. Oh my God, it was like so crazy. Remember when I told you that someone's goes to the same barber as JT, and then the barber I told you in the preview for next week, someone goes to the same barber as JT, a random guy named Ryan. I don't even know who he is, why he's on the show. But he said that JT said to the barber something, and then he told it to Levin. We're like waiting to see what it was. And it was really crazy. He said that the barber said that JT was talking about the show and the season, and that like some black girl keeps coming on to me.
Ooh.
Yeah. And JT is flipping when Leva tells him this. And like Leva and Vanita hear this and they're like, that's not JT. Like we know him. He doesn't talk like that. He's a good person.
Right.
Like, is the person that we know like not
Did
him
the barber
at all?
make it up?
So JT calls the barber on the spot. He was like, did I say this? And the barber was like, no, but I was saying to Ryan, he was like, that might have been the way that I said it.
Retold it,
but that's not how you said it. But it was
Yikes.
like, it was literally 5 minutes where it just goes from like all the way up to like, oh, it's nothing, all the way down. JT did not say it. He's like, he's
that.
totally vindicated. But I feel like he's going to quit the show, and everyone says that he's going to quit the show, and that might have been something. And anyways, then something happened where Vanita said like, oh, really? You weren't spending $5,000 on me, taking me out when I'm not your girlfriend? She said something like that on her Instagram. And then he was like, no, you paid for my suit because I was using a cane and I left my credit card in the car and I paid you back on Venmo, and like, here's the exact amount, dollars and cents. Like she made it seem like he was like whining and dining her and like paying her.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, bad look. But I'm going to hold space for the next truth, because that's what keeps happening. Where it's like, wait, that looks crazy. Even with the JT thing, I'm like, what? How can he come out? How can this not be true? What, Ryan's a liar? Why would Ryan lie? And they say Ryan's husband is black. Why would he just make this up?
Right.
But it was just like a bad game of telephone.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Poor Vanita.
Poor Vanita. And she's like in her bed, just like waiting to hear the truth. Like, is my friend a horrible? Like, I felt so bad for her. He felt so bad for her. It was just like a really bad moment. And for nothing, because it didn't happen.
Well, I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying the season of Southern Charm through your eyes, you know?
So I'll let you know what happens at the finale party. Molly is going to kiss Shep, though it doesn't look so romantic. Craig will give us the update on the breakup. Even though I don't think anything we're going to see tonight is something we don't know already. I feel like
I agree.
I feel like they've really teased everything.
Yeah. Well, that's our show, you guys, and Alafi. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast Millennium Morning Show. We deliver the fast stories you need to know every Monday to Friday on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and consider thumbs up. We're also available as a podcast and we're podcast we found. So Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iRadio, Castbox, all the places where visit podcast. Fantastic to Toast, 5-star review about a beautiful setting and wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.